Going, we're getting people signed and we're recording. So we've got people joining from 3 different offices. Well, actually a few extras because I have some people I think from KW Mexico also who are coming to watch you guys, and we've got some people from KW Puerto Rico who will be at our next speakers at our next meetup. And today we have featured Tanya Dorsey and Barbara Mayat, and they're from KW Mexico in Puerto Rico. Not Puerto Rico, I just said that. Oh my God, Puerto Vallarta. So let's get started. Tanya and Barbara, why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Okay. I'm Tanya Dorsey. I'm the luxury director for KW Bahia, which is located in Puerto Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit. I'm a 33-year-old local, so I know the area quite well. My career started with KW. I'm not a very long agent. I've been in the business since November of 2018. But when I came into KW, it just seemed like I just found my calling. And I absolutely love it. I love everything about the company. I love the Y4C2Ts. I love the way that we are all integrated and meet each other through family reunions. Also, we just came back from the Mexico family reunion just a couple days ago. And for the 3rd year consecutive, I won top producer, which I'm very grateful for. That's thanks to all the referrals that I receive worldwide. And without that, of course, it wouldn't happen. So I'm very thankful about that. And yeah, I'm a team player. I really like to work with everybody. I think that's one of my specialties is that agents for me are my clients. It's not just their clients, but also the agent is actually my client.
I think that's a really important point because I think a lot of people going into business, especially when they're new, they don't really think about referrals as being an integral part of their business. For me, it's a very important part of my business. I know people all over the world, and you know, it's just a great way to earn a little extra income by giving referrals out. You know, if you have somebody looking in Mexico and knowing that there's somebody that you can trust to send your people to, it's a wonderful aspect of our business that I think a lot of people just don't even, you know, think about. But then you're in a place where you're getting a lot of referrals coming in.
That's right.
So it's probably, you know, more important to you to foster those relationships, but it's important to us to know that we have good people to send our people to. So, and Barbara, I want to tell us a little bit about your business. You're muted.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi there, hi everyone. My name is Barbara Mayat. How are you girls? Hope and guys? Hope everyone is having an excellent week. Well, I've been in Mexico living almost all my life, but I was born in Hawaii. My dad's from Boston and my mom is from Mexico City. I've always lived in touristical places such as Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, and Riviera Maya. And I've been in real estate for 15 years on and off because I have 2 kids. So the last 6 years I've been, I can say, kind of active on real estate. And with KW, I started under Tanya Street. Thanks to Tanya, I know about Keller Williams back in 2019. And I kind of left real estate and then came back again last year around October 2021. So I also went to family reunion for my first time in Orlando, which I loved, and meeting all these people. It was an eye opener, you know, it's a wow impact for me, and getting to meet the luxury agents as well. I'm an earned in agent in KW Luxury, thanks to Tanya as well with all her help and support. Well, also as Tanya, with working with the KW culture, treating clients as friends, you know, and making friends clients, you know, in Puerto Vallarta, it's a very small town. And in Mexico as well, you get a reputable name really fast if you do things right and correct. So we are already known in Los Cabos and Guadalajara, Mexico City, Monterrey, Cancun, and Riviera Maya. So we don't not only know about Puerto Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit, we can also offer you other properties and the knowledge about the other towns as well. So I'm glad to help, and I don't know if you have any questions, I'm always here.
That's wonderful. So how is it different? So you came from a different agency. How is Keller Williams different from how business is done with other agencies in Mexico?
I was working as independent agent. It all started when I was selling my own properties and buying, going with the notaries and lawyers. Things are working different, you know, back in 2008, 2007, than in the US. That's where I kind of learned, you know, starting to invest myself, and but also selling, which is also a good investment, you know, in Mexico, always as a second home. Then I went into Coldwell Bankers, Century 21, but they weren't like, in Puerto Vallarta, it's not like revolutionized, as to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also, I don't know if you've heard about the real estate agency named The Agency.
Yes.
Okay, so they're kind of like very hip and trendy, and they have their own magazine. That was very alluring to me, you know. And they also invited me because there was a Netflix show going on in Mexico, like the Sunset Showers, or I don't know that show, but they wanted to do it about Mexico.
Right.
Then the pandemic started, and that didn't work out. But the difference with the KW is I like to work with people who have values and ethic. That they do respect your referrals. They do go by the book. They don't have, if we're all on the same boat, on the same game, there is the one thing, there is no excuses. And the people who see that you're doing the things on the correct way, they will follow you. So doing by the example, people will follow you. And that has worked, just being consistent. And KW, it just has helped me not only in work, but also in my personal life. Right? And what the obvious is to say, all the referral program there is worldwide is just amazing, you know? And I think I'm just hitting the tip of the iceberg right now.
That's exciting. So you just see growth ahead, I think.
A lot. I'm just preparing my team, my marketing team. I'm getting people with me to work. I want them to not have the same knowledge as I do.
Right. So Tanya, you've been to both Keller Williams Family Reunion Orlando, the big kahuna, and you've been to Keller Williams Family Reunion in Mexico. Could you kind of describe the difference? And for us, would there be a reason for us to go to Family Reunion in Mexico?
Well, I've been to 2 family reunions in the USA. The first one was in Orlando. I also in 2019, and then in April of 2019, I went to the luxury event in Florida. And then this is in Orlando this year. So it is a really big difference between the US and Mexico. Obviously, there's so many more agents in the United States, but the idea is the same. It's just on a smaller scale, and obviously in Spanish. So everything, I mean, if you speak Spanish, of course, Mexico is a country that's very united. It's funny because, you know, on a daily basis, I will be talking to people in Cabo San Lucas or Cancun or Guadalajara, Mexico City, Querétaro. We're very united as a country. I would say it would be like be living in the States, but in different areas of the same state. That's how our country is here. So we're very much united, but it's the same idea. It's just on a smaller scale.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Okay, so tell us a little bit about how business is done in Mexico, how it might differ from doing business or doing a transaction in the US.
Sure. Well, first thing is, obviously would be to find a property. What I find is that most people are coming from other places, so they're very dependent on us to find out exactly what they need, because a lot of times they don't know. So it's really important to ask a lot of questions, to find out not what the lifestyle that they have, but the lifestyle that they want. Because most people, when they're coming here, they're coming for a new lifestyle, a change, and it's up to us to find out exactly what they need. So I kind of find what is your ideal, day? What do you want to do? What if you're going to retire or use it for a second home or invest for property? What really is the goal? And then again, when people say, like I want to live next to the beach, what does that mean? Does that mean you want to walk out the door and be at the beach, or do you want to be 2 blocks from the beach? It's really important for us to do that discovery. And then it's not just the property, it's the whole lifestyle. Where will they go? Do they want to be able to walk to the fresh market and get vegetables? Do they want to be able to walk to the grocery store? Because a lot of people come here and don't want to drive. So location is very important. Other people want to be right in the center of everything. So, they want to be, in downtown where everything's happening, or the romantic zone. And other people want to be in Putamita where life is really relaxed. So it's just a question of doing all of that discovery to find out what each person, what is going to make them happy. Because at the end of the day, we want our clients to be happy. The way to do business is we do it through a notary here. A notary is like a supercharged lawyer in the United States. I know in the US.
In the US, not at all.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Oh, I said a notary in most countries is not the same as it is in the US.
That's right. That's right. Here, our notaries are appointed by the governor, and they're for life. Most likely a notary nowadays is because their father was a notary. So it's usually passed down by generation, and it's a supercharged lawyer. There's very few of them in each area, and they're very well known. Even part of our market center is owned by one of the most respected notaries. So, and also one of the most respected developers, Goba Casa. We have a very big advantage here because they usually have about 12 developments going on at a time, which really makes us have a lot of inventory, which nowadays, that's a big deal.
Even there. So are you finding the same thing that we're finding in the US, that there's just an inventory shortage?
Yes, inventory shortage for beachfront, ocean view, not quite to the extent you have, but we used to have inventory for 2 years, and now we have inventory for 2 months.
And I interrupted you, so continue with the process of.
Okay, so we would go through a notary. We have our own team. We have our transaction manager and the notaries that we work with. And it takes a little bit longer. It really depends on where the property that is being sold, they have a trust. If it was previously owned, my particular strong suit is resales. So if the property was owned already by a Mexican, it would be an escritura. It could also be in a trust. And depending on where that trust is how long closing would take. Normally is about 6 weeks, but depending on where that trust is, it could take up to 6 months. So it's important for us to find that information out immediately. I always say, before you get your heart set on a property, let's find out where the trust is, so I can give you realistic expectations, because I think that's very important. It kind of works the same, but in Mexico, instead of going from point A to point B, we kind of do a little roundabout to get there. But it's the same kind of transaction. What I love about the way to do business in Mexico is everything happens at the same time. We actually sit down at a table in the notary's office, and the money is transferred from escrow at the same exact time that the escrituras or the fideicomiso, which is your trust, is signed. So nobody is doing anything ahead of time or or, you know, at different times. It all happens at the exact same time, which to me is the right way to do business.
Now, if somebody wanted to do a referral to you, what is a typical referral fee?
It's the same. It's 25% of the side that's referred.
Okay.
My office knows that pretty much every single client I have is a referral. I feel very fortunate to be trusted by agents all over the world. And some of them send me things to sign. Some of them just send me an email. However, the other person wants to work, I adapt to them. But yeah, that's.
Is there a particular form that you find that they use for the referrals? Like when I do international ones, because I'm a certified international property specialist, CIPS, I use the CIPS form. Do you?
Right. Each person is different. Whatever they choose to use is fine with me. Like I said, some of them have a form that's signed by them, the broker, my broker. Other ones just send me an email and I answer the email. For me, however they want to work, I adapt to them.
Okay, super. And Barbara, is it the same for you? Do you find that you get different?
I was muted again. Yeah, as well.
Okay. All right, Tanya? Okay, you're muted, Tanya. I don't know if you can.
Yes.
Yeah, there you are. All right.
What was the question?
I was just having you continue on kind of with the process.
Okay. So for us, I think the most important thing is the initial interview with the referral to find out exactly what their expectations are. Because, you know, there's some people that say, okay, I want to move here in 5 years, and meanwhile, I want to rent out the property. So it's really important for us to know what are the rules of each of those HOAs. You know, it's very important that I investigate. So they're getting exactly what's going to be perfect for their needs. You know, are they going to have pets? Are they not going to have pets? Because here it's a lot of condominiums. So some of them allow and some of them do not. If they're planning on renting, do they want to be able to rent like for less than 3 days? Because that's also a topic in a lot of the HOAs. And then again, how much is that HOA going to cost? What is it going to include to make it a financial, good decision for the potential investor? And then not only that is what's going to happen in the future when they're going to be here, because they may be in a place right now that's like in the middle of everything. But I know that when they retire, they're not going to want to be in the middle of everything, if that makes any sense. So we need to say, okay, do you know that this area after 8 o'clock at night is going to be noisy? Is that going to be okay with you? So it's a lot of investigation, and it's a lot of giving real expectations on what lifestyle they want to have in the future. Steps. We have a lot of people that are retiring. So people may want to be downtown with the view, yet they don't want to climb up 50 steps. So all of those things are very important. Now with the pandemic, we've been doing a lot, and I mean a lot of sales virtual. So I will actually go and videotape the property. And then not only that, I will do a live a video call like through WhatsApp and show them the whole area. Like, here I am walking out of the property. These are the steps. We actually walk down the steps together. Here's where you go to the beach. We've crossed the street and here's the beach. And then I will literally get in the car, and I either get my daughter, my husband, or somebody to be in the car with me filming, so we can say, okay, time it. It's 3 minutes to the grocery store, or this is where you would get your nails done, or, all of those things. So they have complete understanding of what their lifestyle could be and how it would be. And that way they can make a good decision. Knock on wood, to date, I have clients that are very happy. And, we had to adapt a little bit in the pandemic to learn how to do this type of sales. But a lot of times people either buy literally online, or when they come, they're just looking at 1 or 2 properties because we've already, checked out what doesn't work or different things like that. It's funny because most people that are coming from USA or Canada want Mexican style, and most of the Mexicans want modern. So it's also finding the mix of, do you want Mexican style, but also what are the amenities that you want?
Now, do you find, it sounds like most of your clients are referral based. Do you work very much with the local population? Or what do you think, what is kind of the balance between people coming from outside moving in and the local population looking for properties?
For me, it's about 50-50
Okay.
of people that are coming from USA or Canada or Mexico. I really have a mix. It's funny because I do have a lot of referrals from the US, but the client is in Mexico in another part. So maybe it's an aunt or uncle or somebody that they know. But yeah, it's a good mix. I always say I'm bilingual, but tricultural, because it's very different the way that you do business with somebody from USA, somebody from Canada, or for somebody from Mexico. The way of thinking is different. And I think that gives us an advantage, because if the seller's Mexican and the buyer's American, we have to know how to word the things correctly so the seller's happy and the buyer's happy. I'll say the same thing, just in a different way to each person.
And then do you find of the people that are coming in to buy properties, are most of them looking to live there full time, or are most of them looking at it as a second home or a investment property?
Well, we have both. A lot of people have decided to retire early. So, we got a big boom. People that were going to retire at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years said, what am I waiting for? Let's do it now. So they're here. Also, the digital nomad, the person that can work online. We have so many people that the first thing they ask is great internet. So that's another client, they're making their dollars from the US and spending in pesos. I mean, we just paid the predial, which is our yearly tax, for a $750,000 condo, and it was $300. I mean, that's a huge difference. On top of that, you have your trust fee, which is $550 per year. But it's funny that Mexicans with money a lot of times will choose to purchase in a trust if that's available. Excuse me. And the trust is for properties that are within 50 kilometers of the ocean front and 100 kilometers of the border. And the reason why is so you can't cede the property to the United States. Otherwise we would be sitting in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, USA. Just think of California and Texas. So what it is it's held through a bank trust. Now, nothing can ever happen to that property. It's yours. Excuse me. You can will it, you can sell it, you can get a loan on it, you can rent it, you can do whatever you want. It's just like a living trust, if that makes any sense. But the bank does charge $550 per year to hold that for you. Now, there's no risk of losing the trust. Let's say the bank folds. It's federally protected. It's not an asset of the bank, and it would go to the next bank. And at any time, you can choose to change it for whatever reason. You don't even have to have a reason. You just say, I don't want it at this bank. I'll go to another bank.
Yeah, that was actually something that I definitely was going to ask you about, because I'd heard about those trusts. Are there anything, Barbara, get you on here a little bit more. Is there any other aspects of purchasing in Mexico or selling in Mexico that might be a little different, or that, maybe cautionary for somebody when they're looking to buy a property outside of, their home country?
Yeah, I would basically, to start with, if you have a logo of KW, they know for sure you are working with trusted realtors, right? That's number one. Number two, if you're part of AMPI, AMPI is you're part of the association like NAR in the US, but in Mexico it's called AMPI. So you have to check those two references. Also by word of mouth. On the other hand, there's many developments going on, pre-construction prices, it's just a boom right now in Puerto Vallarta. Our inventory is so low. We have more pre-construction going on, starting $70,000, $80,000 in a really good zone, like in Nuevo Vallarta, which is a hotel zone, a touristic area. So there's many possibilities to buy. You know, you don't have to buy $500,000-$600,000 to live beachfront when you can buy a development 5 blocks away from the beach, you know. Also, so you can know, and there's big companies like the Ritz-Carlton, Fairmont, the one and only Garza Blanca. These are big companies known worldwide that have invested in the state of Nayarit and Jalisco. So what I can say, the most particular part of Mexico in Puerto Vallarta is that we live in a bay that we are divided by a 1 kilometer bridge, and it's 2 states. So there's 2 different laws by the state of Jalisco and by the state of Nayarit, but we're on the same bay. There's not much difference, but if we all go by NAR or AMPI, you're just fine. And again, just go and work with a real estate lawyer. I will tell my clients, hey, listen, if you don't trust the developer, just go through a real estate lawyer or the notary again.
Good to know. Yeah, so if a agent isn't part of AMPI, I mean, can people, is there a licensing process that's administered by the country or the state? So how does one become an agent there?
Not yet. A lot of people during the pandemic, they said, okay, we're gonna be realtors now. And everyone was like, whoa, really? And there was many frauds going on, especially on rentals, you know, not much in, I can say in sales, not really, because everything again goes through the notary, especially like Airbnbs, VRBOs, and rentals. You do go through a process now that you have to take certifications and vigorous tests through a certified teacher by the state and by the government. And you go to, like in the US, you know, you have to go through a process as you go to NAR, you know. I know it's super difficult in California and also as in Texas. It's almost the same process, but I know that in US, you can't say, hey, I'm a realtor, or I'm a broker, or I'm an agent. Here, it's almost the same if you're a broker or an agent. There's no much difference, but there should be. And I think now that we're more like certified people, hey, listen, if we're paying for this and we're studying and investing our time, we want you to do the same. So we're taking care of that. And I think this year, many things are gonna change for the people who do wanna step up on their game and have their license. So there is people getting certified.
You're breaking up a little there at the end, but yeah, I think we get the gist of that, yeah, that it's improving all the time, it sounds like, as
Right.
far as. Okay, well, I think, does at this point, does anybody have some questions? And then we can kind of maybe have them start sharing the screen. Maybe you guys brought some properties and things that you can share with us. Anyone?
Yeah, I can share if you would like. Would you like to see the one and only?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how I do this. I'm hoping that somebody else will. If Kim.
Janet,
Yeah.
I gave her sharing privileges. She just
Oh, okay.
needs to share the screen.
So I just hit share the screen.
No, Barbara will if she has
Okay.
something.
Yeah, if you hit share the screen.
Share screen.
And also, we do have some questions in the chat, Janet, after she's done.
Okay.
Okay, so am I sharing the screen?
Looks like it if you have mountains.
Okay, excellent. Yes. So, okay, well, basically I sent this over to the chat. If you're traveling from the US or from Canada, this is the time lapse, or well, not time lapse, the hours, flight hours, right? Like from Texas 2 hours, LA 2.5 hours, Denver, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, etc. Okay. Let me see. Okay. And I also sent you a map where we have like the developments. This is the bay. Okay. And right in the middle, we have the airport. And either you go north of Puerto Vallarta, and on this side where the Ameca River divides the state, either you go to by Riviera Nayarit or the south of Puerto Vallarta. Okay.
Okay.
So on this side, we have the one and only Mandarina, which I'm gonna put up. And then we're starting with the apartments for $2 million, 2.5, starting on June. But right now we're selling the villas, starting $5.6 million, 5 bedrooms. Okay.
Wow.
Everything is lush, tropical.
I just want to jump into the picture, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And as you see the ocean as it is, it's not Photoshop. Here on the bay, you can arrive on your yacht. They have several beach clubs. And if you can see the mountains, those are the villas. Like kind of like you were in Thailand type.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you know about One and Only, around the world, I believe there's only 4 exchange programs for One and Only. One is in Turks and Caicos, Mauritius, and not Los Cabos, and I forgot the other one, but the other one we're here in Riviera Nayarit. Okay, this is where you arrive with your yacht. Okay, this is the tree house. And if you want to send your clients and to say per, you know, just to see the place, per night it's going starting $1,200-ish, including tax.
Okay. So what if we have clients that can't quite afford that price point?
If there's, sorry?
If we have clients that can't afford that price point, because that's,
Okay, so that's the highest one we have.
okay.
In the medium, would you something between the $500,000 beachfront?
Mhm.
Okay, would be Garza Blanca and Lemuria. Also, the ocean here, it's beautiful. Let me see. Yeah. Put up a video. Just 2 minutes.
Tafe Resorts ofrece para ti la mejor inversión inmobiliaria integral. Lemuria Residencias, la más exclusiva zona residencial de Puerto Vallarta, fue tocada con la magia de Gensler, una de las principales firmas de arquitectura y urbanismo a nivel
So this
global,
is in Spanish,
dando como
but I will
resultado
send it in
residencias y
English.
departamentos de lujo que se fusionan entre el mar y la montaña. Disfruta la
And so
experiencia
you said these are around 500,000. Is that for like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or what?
infinita
Starting
diversidad de flora y fauna,
$500,000,
así como de ríos y
1
cascadas
bedroom,
que
1
enriquecerán tu
studio,
espacio
2
vital para
complete
siempre.
bathrooms.
Ejercítate y oxigénate caminando por los senderos cuidadosamente distribuidos en 700 hectáreas que el desarrollo mantiene y ofrece para ti como reserva ecológica. Decídete ahora y aprovecha la oportunidad de adquirir en preventa el lujo y confort que siempre deseaste para ti y tus seres queridos. Los residentes de Lemuria contarán con un exclusivo club de playa, un spa con 2,000 metros cuadrados de áreas diversas y un club deportivo para niños y adultos. Tendrán acceso libre y permanente al centro comercial.
Okay, so basically that's kind of the idea on the South Shore of Puerto Vallarta. As you see, everything is super tropical. I'm trying to get out of the screen. Okay, and I will send this in English as well. I have the PDF presentation. This is one of the floor plans, 2-bedroom. The square feet, 10 levels. This is the kind of decoration it has. If you want to buy it furnished, it's around $60,000-$70,000 more. Okay.
Okay, well, 160 meters, that's pretty good size.
It
But
is
Barbie, how much is the 2-bedroom?
The 2-bedroom would be starting around 680, depending the level.
Okay,
Okay,
higher up, a little bit more expensive because better views.
it's correct. So right now we're in phase 1, which is this apartment, phase 2 and phase 3. Each tower will have its own pool on top, rooftop, as well on the bottom. And if you're looking like something super like, well, this is the most exclusive we have on the bay. And if you say, you know what, I just want something to get there and just relax and I don't want to spend money. Yesterday, they gave us a new development called Los Encantos, which is like 5 minutes away from the beach, 7 blocks, would say. Tanya, is that correct? That's about 7 blocks?
I wasn't in that meeting. I have a meeting today about that in the afternoon.
Okay. So those are starting $70,000 on pre-construction prices, which would be right here in the middle of the bay.
Okay,
So we have a wide range from 70,000 to the medium, which is 500,000 to up to $5 million. Well, actually, the most expensive house we have in the place, it's $18 million, 8 bedrooms.
wow. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
okay. Let me start going into some of these questions here in the chat. Last time.
And also I have some other options here.
Okay, yeah, well, let's look at that in just a second. You maybe
Sure.
you could hit the share screen, start pulling yours up.
There we go.
I can't pull up the chat. Or maybe because the screen was shared. Oh, that's probably why. Okay, yeah, okay, Tanya, I'll let you go because I don't think I can because the screen's shared.
Okay, well, here in the north side of the bay, there's a development called Quadrant. I find this to be a really great purchase. It's one, you just cross the highway to the beach, literally like 3 minutes walking. But the price point with a beautiful ocean view is, I have it right here. This one just came back to market, is about $362,000. And this is what we call resort living, which means you're going to have your tennis courts. You're going to have, there's an area for hammocks that are, between the palm trees, which is very nice, with a sand floor. There's a really nice, huge pool that goes over to a waterfall, and a swim up bar, a palapa restaurant, and over half, let me see the size here. The HOA is also low, under $300.
Mhm.
And it has a lot of green areas, because now we're noticing that more and more we're getting, like the rooftop pools, which is great, but there's very few that are, really laid out and really big green areas. And
Mhm.
this is over half of the amenities it's 1,329 square feet for the property.
Very good size.
And then another option here, which I think is great, I'm going to put on this little video.
It isn't on the water. It's close to the water. It said it had a view.
That's right. It's across the street. You'll
Exactly.
see if you're actually on the water, the price point changes.
Mhm.
Like this property here. This is Quinta del Mar. This is a penthouse, 2
Wow.
floors, double high ceilings. It's amazing. And I mean, from every bedroom has a suite. It has an in-suite bathroom, and it has your walk-in closet. And but this is at $1.7 million. But it is absolutely amazing. And here we have Blue Horizon. Let me put this on. Let me see here. This is on the south side, and brand new development, absolutely gorgeous. They made their own beach there. It's all sand. And these condos are starting at $610,000 US. Let's see if I can turn this down a little bit. It's about 25 minutes from downtown. there's 37 apartments and there's one penthouse for about $5 million. But the apartments start at 610,000 US and they come furnished. Not only that, it's known for the natural area, like it's tucked into the jungle, which is amazing. And there's 2 infinity pools and there's a rooftop area additionally. So actually it's 3 pools, plus you have the beachfront area. There's also jacuzzis. And this one, if you want to purchase it to use, but you want them to take care of it, they will do that 100% concierge service. They'll rent it out for you. I mean, you choose the level of involvement that you want from them. So I think this is also a very good idea, a very good option.
Right. I don't know whether it was just they took great pictures, but that one just looks wonderful. I mean,
It's quite amazing. It's exactly what it looks like.
Mhm.
And let me just go up here. Hold on one moment. Sorry. Let's see. Where am I at? Wait one moment. And this is my social media. You can find me Real Estate Tanya Dorsey. And this is my contact here. So let me unshare my screen so you can go back to the questions. Let me find how to do that. Give me a moment. Sorry.
Okay. And Tanya, please, in the chat, please type your email address as well.
Okay.
I can get this to come up.
Janet, I can read off the questions.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay, so yes, Tonya, I know Barbara already put her contact info in there in her Facebook. So if you can do the same, people are asking for
Sure.
that. And then let's see. One question is, are there any programs similar to a 1031 exchange within Mexico?
I don't know if they know what that is.
Yeah, maybe
We're not
Janet.
going to know what that is.
Okay. So a 1031 is kind of a pushing your taxes down the road. I can sell this without having to pay taxes on the program, on the property, and immediately put the money into another property. So it just
Okay.
kind of pushes the capital gains tax down the road. So is there anything like that in Mexico? If you want to sell a property and then buy another one and avoid paying?
No, but the way that it works is at this time, well, what happens is you get an official government receipt when you purchase a property. That's your factura. And then when you go to sell, you get capital gains, and that's 700,000 UDIs per person. Right now, that's approximately like 225,000 US that would be tax-free. So, you know, if there's 2 people on the property, that would be double. And there's really, the most important thing is when you're going to go to sell, that we prepare the property. I always make sure that when somebody purchases a property, I set it up for when they want to sell. For example, we start getting your tax ID number, and then we put that tax ID number on either your electric bill and or your phone bill, because when you go to sell, they're going to ask you for that. And that is one of the reasons that you can deduct. Silly little things that are so simple. And this is the difference between KW realtors, FB realtors, and, you know, people that are just deciding to sell real estate on a Tuesday, if that makes any sense. It really makes a difference of how we help the client from the beginning to set up for when they want to sell.
Okay, Kim?
Okay, so one more question is, if someone has a client that they'd like to refer to you, what is the best way to do that?
Well, there's my phone number. It's also WhatsApp, which is very popular in Mexico, or text. And there's my email. So just to shoot me an email. I always prefer to have the phone number for the client that they know that I'm going to call. And I give them a voice to voice, or I send them an email and ask them what's a good time for them to call. And, just give them a voice to voice. I go over explaining the process with them and then ask if they have any questions. And that's usually the initial conversation. And then I make an appointment to talk to them either the next day or the following day, because usually they're going to talk to their couple, or we can make an appointment to have a 3-way call at that time. And then they have a chance to write down all their questions. And we could go back over that the next day because it's a lot of information to give in one call. So I like to do it over 2 or 3 phone calls so they kind of give an idea. And then I get to know the person a little bit more and I get to ask them questions so I can help them how they need to be helped.
Is financing possible for somebody coming from outside of Mexico?
Yes, it is, but it's very difficult. Actually, my husband, who I work on a team with, is right now at a meeting for new financing available in Mexico. So I'll have more information later, but literally he's at that meeting right now. But at this time, there's a company called Tu Casa Express, and it is 2%, but every 6 months it goes up 0.3%. So in January and July, it goes up and it never stops.
Oh,
So this is a loan that you want to keep for a very short amount of time. And the way that it works in Mexico is the first thing, anytime you want to get a loan, they ask for your last 3 months bank statements. Well, you're not going to have that because you don't have income in Mexico. You don't have credit score in Mexico. So what we need to do is actually create that. Well, the company does that. I don't do that. But what they do is they'll tell you, okay, this is going to be your monthly payments. So if you make those 3 monthly payments on time, how said, then you will get the loan. So you have to actually make 3 payments ahead of time. But with all in all, the insurance, the closing costs, the 30% down, it comes out to about 42% that you need down. And the interest rate is high. So this is I've used it a couple times. Actually, I have clients that were the first people in the country to use this loan. And it's a very good short-term loan. Like if you're going to get your 401k in 2 or 3 years, but other than that, most people, we really do have a cash market. I'm going to say 98% of my clients are cash.
okay. Good to know. All right, Kim?
Okay, and then someone's just confirming that they can directly reach out to both of you. They don't need to go through the team leader or the office first, right?
Yeah, most people call me direct. I
Okay.
think I gave out 1,000 business cards at a family reunion in the USA. So most people call me direct. And if they want to copy the team leader in there, that's fine. If not, like I said, everybody in my office knows that I am a referral agent. So they always know, never pay me unless I tell you that there's no referral.
Okay. And then you have a hello from Melvin in Puerto Rico. He's here. Say hi.
Hola,
and then
Melvin, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Tanya. Estoy muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Excelente, gracias.
Qué bueno.
Placer, un
So happy to
gusto.
be here. Sí, igualmente, un placer. Encantado. Thanks for having me.
We're so happy you could join us.
Yeah, I messed up with time zones and I got in a little late, but I'm happy to be here.
Very happy you're here. And Melvin will be presenting the next time we have this. So
I'm looking forward to that.
me too. So Kim?
and then one more question. Is there a difference buying as a Mexican citizen and as a US citizen?
Yes, there is. Mexicans, if it's not in the restricted zone, which is 50 kilometers from the beach or 100 kilometers from the ocean, they buy direct through what's called a escritura, just through a title. And Americans or Canadians or foreigners would buy through a trust. But this is the funny part. Mexicans, a lot of times, Mexicans with money choose to use a trust because in that same trust, you say who you're going to will the property to, and there's no inheritance tax. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather at the moment, but there's no inheritance tax, and it makes it very seamless. It's very easy to transfer that property. You don't have to go through probate or a will or anything. It supersedes. So, let's say a parent has 3 properties and 3 children, they'll do trust and leave 1 to each child. Or, you can leave 1 property divided into 3 children, however you would like to do it, but it makes it very simple. And if you are a foreigner and you're buying at the 51st kilometer from the ocean or the 101 kilometer from the border, you purchase the same as a Mexican.
All right.
And that-
Any more questions?
No, that's all I see in the chat.
Okay, but I mean, you guys feel free to like jump in if you have a question at this point in time. And Barbara? I can't hear you, Barbara.
Again, sorry, my bad. I have a question. My fellow colleagues from Los Cabos work with a different referral commission. How do you work in the US with referral commissions? How do you feel comfortable with? How do you manage that worldwide or international?
Yeah, as I was saying, I usually use the CIPS form, you know, because I'm often referring to other CIPS agents. So that seems to have worked well. I have used just kind of a printed out referral sheet when I've referred internationally. I generally do the 25% referral. I was doing a referral for Brazil and they were saying we don't do more than 10%. And then they finally gave me 15%. I don't know if he was just playing me because that was my first referral to Brazil. But that's what ended up happening there. So I think, you know, I think people are kind of accustomed to the 25%.
Very rarely have I heard anything different. And a lot of times I get referrals through command, you know, where, you know, right through there, you can find us. Our office is KW Bahia, BAHIA, and that means Bay because we're on, you know, the Bay. You know, we have like 65 miles of beachfront property, oceanfront property. So, you know, we have a lot to choose from here. You know, there's so many things to do. We have dolphins, we have whales. I mean, you can be sitting from these condos, the ones that I was just showing you. And I laugh with a friend of mine there that he always says, you know, in the United States, in their backyard, they have dogs and we have whales, which is true. I mean, it's true. You can sit from the terrace and watch the whales jump. And, you know, it's just beautiful here. And it really is a different lifestyle. I find that even people that maybe weren't so happy or carefree at home, once they come here, they're here a couple days, they change and they convert into, you know, Puerto Vallarta is being known, it's known for being the friendliest city in the world. So I think it's the sun and the good lifestyle that makes everybody happy. And I mean, this is what you work for. You work to enjoy your life. You work to, you know, for a goal to just to have a nice lifestyle. And I think that this is the place for it.
Now, you were talking about how cohesive KW Mexico is, and that. Can you tell me how many agents there are throughout Mexico and where we have KW offices?
Sure, we have about 28 offices. They would be in all of the resort areas, which is, you know, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Cancun, where am I missing? Cabo, and then in all the big cities, you know, Monterrey, Mexico City, Querétaro, and we're about 2,000 agents at this time. Although I find that number to be very deceptive because, for example, in our market center, we're about 70 agents that are direct, but one of those agents has, I think it's 150 agents in different offices that they have throughout the country. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, they only count as one. So I think that number of 2,000 is quite deceptive because we really are a very big company.
Right. So basically, if I, well, let's go with Gabby here. Gabby, you're going to Cabo San Lucas, is it? She would like to meet, you know, some of the agents in Cabo San Lucas. So could we go through you? I mean, would you know?
Sure.
You could introduce her to.
Absolutely. I'd introduce you to Daniel over there. I was just with them this weekend past. And, you know, you can always shoot me an email. Like I say, even if it's a different area, we know somebody there. So it's just send me the email and I will forward it with the introduction to the right person. But yes, Daniel is a very well-known agent there. He's Daniel Robles. He's very professional. And yeah, I'd be glad to do the introduction. Shoot me an email and I'll copy him and forward it off.
Sounds good, thanks. And I recommend everybody, I mean, you were talking about KW Command. Please connect on Command with Tanya and Barbara. Say that you met her in, the meeting here, and you'll have a wonderful, two wonderful partners now, referral partners in Mexico. And if it's outside of their area, they can help get you to the right person in other areas. So I think that's a really important point. We might not have a referral right now, but we might have a friend who starts talking and has a referral, and so now we can be the point person, to direct them to good agents. I think
That's right. Well, I had an agent in the United States send out a mailer in their monthly emails, just letting people know that we do have referral partners in Mexico. And I was pleasantly surprised as to how many people, said, oh, well, I have an aunt that has a property there that they want to sell. Or, somebody else who was thinking of buying an investment property. So I think it's a really good way to, let your sphere know that, because Mexico is very in line with the US. I mean, we're definitely hand in hand. And I mean, we noticed this in the family reunion, giving out cards when I would say, do you need a connection for Puerto Vallarta? Everybody had a story, oh, I went there for my honeymoon, or, we went last year, or there's always some sort of connection with Mexico between the United States. So like I said, this agent sent out a mailer in their monthly newsletter, letting people know that if they needed any business in Mexico, that they had a great referral partner. So that's always a good idea too.
Okay, well, we're at 9:58 a.m., so we're going to have to wrap this up. Does anybody have any more questions? Is there anything coming through the chat, Kim?
No, nothing more, just some hellos and thank yous.
Yes.
I would like to add, just feel free to contact me, email me, WhatsApp me, or social media as Barbara Mayet Real Estate, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I would be glad. Also, if your clients they're not ready to buy and they just want to visit and they want to tour around, I'll be glad to receive them at the airport, give them a tour, guide them, as first as a friend and then as a client. And if they're also, we do luxury rentals and beachfront rentals. You can contact me and Tanya.
Super. Well, we thank you both so much, Tanya and Barbara. It was so nice meeting you at Family Reunion, and I'm glad it led to this wonderful meeting and all the information you've shared. And I look forward to staying in touch and hopefully many referrals in the future. And if you're
Thank you so
ever
much.
in Long Beach,
Thank you for having us.
You come by and see us, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll record this and we'll make sure that you get the recording. So that
Yes,
you
and
know.
I'll
so
put
much.
it on our YouTube channel also, Janet.
Okay, super, Kim. Thank you. All right.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Danya. This was great. Thank you for having me, Janet. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Gracias. Hasta luego. Bye.
Ciao, Bárbara.